Hello, this is a review for algebra. I think you have this later this week. I'm just going to go over factoring with um, the two types of factoring that you guys will have. So, um, any of the other problems you might want to talk to your teacher. I don't know if they're going to be on the quiz or not. I'm going to start with just kind of a little guide um, that I go over. The first thing you want to do is you want to look at your answers. Okay, and this goes more for when you don't have any numbers in front. When you do like this, it's good to just have an idea of how to do it, depending on what it is. But like when you don't have any numbers in front of in your first term, then it's a little bit easier. So you have different types of answers you're going to have. So, for example, if you look at your questions, for example, this one right here, this is a plus and a minus. So I'm going to start with just a plus plus. If you have your first terms are plus and plus in there, that means that your answer is going to be also plus plus. And this is going to be an adding. So anytime you have like the second sign is a plus, so for example, this is a minus plus, you're still going to add. Just kind of a good idea to know what your answer would be like. So here it's going to be plus plus. In this case, it's going to be a plus minus. Now, if your second sign is a minus, then it's a little bit different in that it's just you're going to subtract. So in this case, if you have a plus minus, your answer is going to be in a plus minus form. And if it's a minus minus, your answer will be in a minus plus form. And in this case, you're going to subtract. So it makes a little bit of sense more when you go over some of these problems. But to me, I like just having an idea of what form our answer is going to be in. So if I look at this first one right here, I look and I see that's a plus and a minus. So if I look back here, it's a plus and a minus. I know my answer is going to be in a plus and a minus, and I know I'm going to subtract. So I know right away this that my answer's going to be a plus and a minus. And I know I'm going to subtract. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at factors of 32, numbers that multiply to make 32. So, you have 1 and 32, 2 and 16, 3 and 14, and 4 and 8. So we have quite a few factors of 32. Now, remember what I said you have that second number's a minus, you're going to subtract. So we're looking for numbers here that subtract to make 4. So if I take 32 minus 1, 16 minus 2, 14 minus 3, or 8 minus 4, which one is going to subtract and make 4? And it's 8 minus 4. Now with this, I always say, write your bigger number first. So in this case, it's going to be x plus 8 and x minus 4. So in the next problem here, you have a number in front. So in this case, I like to use what's called the box method. And I know the teachers have gone over this several times. So it shouldn't be too difficult for you. So when you do the box method, first thing you do is you look at the first term, you're going to put it in the top box, and the last term. And make sure you put the sign there. So now in this case, we're multiplying 6 and 5, and we're going to get 30. I'm not really worried about the sign too much. I guess you can put that there. So factors that make negative 30. So it's negative 1 times 30, 1 times negative 30, negative 3 times 10, 3 times negative 10, negative 5 times 6, and 5 times negative 6. Now, you might know your factors, and you probably don't have to do all that. I just wanted to show everything. Now, remember, this is a minus, so that means we're subtracting. So we're looking for numbers that subtract to make positive 1. So if we look around, this right here are the factors that multiply to make 30, negative 30, and if we would add them up, we would get positive 1. So now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to write these and put these in the box. Doesn't matter what order, you can put the 5 first or the 6, doesn't matter, okay? Here, and make sure you put the letter with it. So it's 6x and negative 5x. So now we're going to look across and see if we can factor stuff out. In this case, the only thing that these have in common is an x. Now, if I look at this one, there's nothing here in common other than that minus. So I'm just going to put negative 1. Here, they both have a 5 and an x. And here they both have a 6. So now all I need to do to write my answer is just write down the sides. X minus 1 and 5x, since there's no sign there, I'm going to make it plus 6. Very simple. Once you get the hang of this, it's quite easy. Okay, for this problem here, and we're not going to worry about this one here. We're just going to do one more. Okay. For this problem here, I would start by seeing if you can multiply these by anything, or if you can divide them by anything. In this case, everything can be divided by 2. So if I rewrite this, it's going to be 5x squared minus 18x plus 9. So this tells us we're adding. First thing you want to do is write your box. Now we're going to use these here, first term and last term. So I'll write that in there. Now I'm going to multiply this. So 9 times 5 is 45. In this case, I'm looking for numbers that add up to 18 and multiply to make 45. So it's 1 times 45, 3 times 15, and 5 times 9. So those are the ones that multiply to make, or add up, multiply to make 45 and add up to make 18. Now in this case, to me, this is where it's a little bit funky. You just have to know that your answer is going to be minus, minus. Okay? So if I look here, numbers, what do they have in common? They just have an x. Here, these two can be both divided by 3. And just so you know, it's a minus 3 because you know it's minus, minus. Here, got my x. Always remember your x's. That can really trip you up. Here, dividing by 5x and 3. So your answer is x minus that 3 and 5x minus 3. So that's, just a brief introduction on how to factor, not only with just the straight factoring, but also using the box method when you have a number in front. Like I say, if you have questions, ask myself or your teacher. Good luck on your quiz.